It is 11 o'clock, Trey, my friend.
Excellent.
We are going to get started. What's up, guys? Christian here with River Pools. I've got my buddy Trey Watford here. He's one of our project designers, and we are going to get into pool project design. So I'm going to share my computer. This is what we're talking about today. Pool project design, a guide to VIP 3D and Pool Studio. But today is obviously a somber day for our country. And I'd like to start us off with just a moment of silence, if we can.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking this morning about where we were, 18 years ago, and man, I was sitting in my apartment at college, and my roommate came in and made the announcement. We immediately turned on the TV. You were, I think you said you were in third grade,
No,
or
Sydney was in third. I was in
Okay.
sixth grade.
Sixth
so
grade.
A little younger, but not that young.
Yeah, but obviously a day none of us will ever forget. To anybody watching this who has family or friends who were victims on the day, or know somebody who was, or has a family member or friend who was, our hearts go out, and to all of those affected at the Pentagon out in Pennsylvania, and certainly in downtown Manhattan. It was a tragic day, and we absolutely will never forget that. It's really one of the many reasons we are proud to fly the flag on all of our products and source all of our materials, as many as possible, from right here in America and North America. That red, white, and blue means a lot to us here at River Pools.
Absolutely.
Okay. We are going to get in. Let me introduce my friend Trey here a little bit. Trey came to us by way of another design company at one point, but he was really doing a lot of landscape design work and happened to do a couple projects and integrated our pools.
That's right.
And and thought, man, this is a really fun feature to build an entire backyard around. Reached out, stopped by one day, and I don't think the transition took very long. We scooped him up.
Yeah. I came here to network, and one thing led to another, and
Yeah.
really saw a big vision here at
Yeah.
River Pools, and so here I am.
Yeah. But what he's done is he's become really an expert in the realm of project design, digital project design through VIP 3D, Pool Studio, the network, or the software options through Structure Studios. And this is what we're talking about today. So Structured Studios is the parent company, if you will, and they produce Pool Studio, VIP 3D, which are both related to pool design, and then
Right.
the third one is landscape design focused,
Yeah.
and that one is
That's called Vizterra. So that's gonna be
Vizterra.
more for the landscape contractor.
Yeah. So this is what we're talking about today. We are. This is just a quick snapshot of their home page. We recommend you check them out. At the end of this session, we hope you will have a good idea as to whether this is a software that you either want to become more familiar with, use more. We certainly hope you will gain more value out of seeing how we use it at River Pools. Or perhaps you're not using it now at all, and you can add this to your arsenal. The cost is a monthly subscription, and Vizterra, as Trey just mentioned, is a landscape-focused software platform. But then Pool Studio is $95 a month, and then the combination of the two, Vizterra and Pool Studio, is VIP 3D.
Right.
That's $165 a month. We subscribe to VIP 3D, and we have several subscriptions to that available for all of our project designers.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into Trey. I'm really going to turn this entire session, this entire show, over to Trey. This guy is a whiz when it comes to setting up backyard designs, really enhancing the sales process,
Yeah.
and doing it in such a way that it puts the homeowner, the lead, in their backyard with a pool there, so they can fully picture the entire thing. Why else do we use it, Trey? Why do you like it so much?
I really like it because it just the biggest goal is to really bring it home for the homeowner, really connect them with the project before we even begin, before we really even sign the contract, and really give them a very good visual on what's going on. But it also helps us from an estimating standpoint, there's some great things in there from square footage and gallons of water, all kinds of helpful things in there to help you not only pitch it and sell it, but also to help you guys estimate it and do it properly. So it's great.
Yeah. So I know folks are going to be wondering about the RiverPulse templates and colors. A lot of times when you go in, manufacturers already have all that stuff plugged in. We are in the process of having that done. And what we do now for all of our dealers and all of our franchisees is we give them the template files outright, as well as the colors, and make that available digitally for them to upload into the software. But coming soon, all of that will be plugged in and integrated into the software. So any updates we make will happen inside the platform. There's no need to upload separate files other than related to the specific yard. It should all be in there, ready to go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We're going to turn it over to Trey's computer here in just a moment. And Trey's going to, we're going to go over a still image.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to go over how to set up a video tour.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go over how to integrate sound. So three
Absolutely.
different projects we're going to walk through. This is going to be a very fast-paced session, and not so much set up as a tutorial, as a how to do all of these things, but rather
Right.
to show you what the capabilities are within the software.
Yeah.
And Trey is going to move faster than I could in it, certainly.
Yeah.
And if we get going, if we get down a rabbit trail,
Sure.
because you get excited, buddy.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah, I
love
love this
talking
stuff.
design with him because his mind is constantly in go.
Yeah.
So let me stop share. And Trey, if you hit the
Share screen
share
here.
screen
Okay.
and just share your desktop.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay.
So this backyard, this particular backyard, is actually for a pretty cool client of ours. He happened to score the winning goal in the Stanley Cup last year with the Washington Capitals, and we were pretty excited to get this job. But we're going to walk through just a still image. Trey, let's talk through some of the critical elements to making this this rendering pop.
Yeah.
For the lead.
So what I try to do to really bring it home for my customers is this program is going to allow you to set the sun patterns and everything for their particular home and their location. So wherever you are in the world, as long as you give them that zip code and then correct that north arrow, which should be provided into, as you see here, a property plat. So we've simply just overlaid this in, and you'll see the north arrow here in the top left, and you can see how I've oriented that north arrow to properly show their home. So what it's really doing is in presentation mode, when you're beginning to take photos or videos of the job site, you can really make it very interactive with them and make it real for them, down to the sun patterns based on their location and their particular spot in the United States, and also bring it down to the date. So if you look over here where my screen is, this is July 4th of next year, so at 12:11 p.m. And so we can begin to show different sun patterns and different times with a simple click of a button there. So that's really what I try to do to really make it real for them before we've even begun.
You even go so far in the sales pitch to the idea I'm gathering is to put them in the moment, as if they're
Yes.
standing beside their pool.
Yes.
Right.
And,
So you go so far as to even say, this is what your pool is going to look like on July 4th.
right, of next
at
year at
noon.
Yeah, noon of next year, July 4th. And you can see here, trying to set a perspective and really bring it home to them on what this space could be for them and their backyard.
Are those tattoos on his arm?
I think so. He's a little cooler than I am, but yeah, it looks like he's got the high and tight, and his buddies there laughing at him. So yeah, making it real.
Let's talk about that for a second, because you can drop folks in here to make it look and resemble the family that you're working with. And
Yes.
to what level of detail can you do that?
Yeah, so when I'm doing that, a lot of times, and we'll see that in some other ones here coming forward, but you don't technically have to have these people that you're seeing in this screen with a particular look or style. A lot of times what I'll do is what's just a silhouette. So that's just going to be a white image, more of an architectural look where you can visualize, hey, that could be me, or that could be my daughter or son, and even the dog. So that's one way to really make them connected and make that silhouette not only give a sense of scale, but bring it home for that particular homeowner. And then from a photo standpoint, you can begin to play with different filters and different aspects to change the look or the presentation. So you can change filters around and really customize it any way that you would like, depending on your style and level of detail there. So
Yeah. So this really, even this still image, before we even take something like this and turn it into a video tour,
right.
this still image has a lot of elements that, again, help put the homeowner in the moment of what their backyard is going to look like. So far, I mean, you've got shadows based on sun patterns and daytime. If you spin around, say we've got Dad picturing cooking on the grill in the background.
Right.
I mean, I could
fire pit.
Totally see myself doing that. I mean, talking about little things that really add to the value in telling the story of what their backyard experience is going to be like.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm in the mode where you can literally, in the bottom left, it's the footprints there. So you can literally walk around and you can actually set this height to, if you're 6'5", you can set it to be 6'5". So it's the level of detail that you can really produce is a lot more than a lot of people even really need to do. So, but it's all available to you.
From this screen, can we actually put the homeowner inside the pool as if they're swimming?
Yeah, absolutely. You could go into your, so it works in various layers. So once you get into this, and this is that silhouette that we were describing earlier, you could set the kids in here playing ball and really allow them to get an idea of,
the family dog and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can, the dog, Dad fetching, playing fetch with the dog. I mean, there's just all kinds of different things that you can do to really make it custom for whatever's going on in their backyard or their family.
Very cool. What about, and I've seen you do this before, where you actually take the view and you go underwater, and so the homeowner gets to see what the pool looks like from, as if they had goggles on inside the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can get in here and get under the water. You can set it so that when you dive into the water in a presentation, you actually hear the sound of the splash and that sound of underwater, underwater things going on. And then when we get into talking about colors and things like that, you can show them quickly, the different color finishes. So this happens to be our Arctic shimmers, our white finish. So you can really show them all kinds of different things, from finishes to just everything from a click of a button. So.
And what you did right there, if you guys are paying attention beyond the silhouettes, are a little distracting now.
Yeah, let me get them out of here.
Okay.
Gone.
But you just make people erase, man. That's
kind
of cool.
Gone.
But what you did was you showed the pool without water, and then you dropped a filter on it to let them see what the color of the pool is going to look like when water is in place.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, run through the sun patterns right there. On
night lighting, we'll get into that too. But yeah, you can, as you're really getting into the details of gel coat finishes and things like that, someone may have something specific in mind, and this allows you to really show them how the water changes colors with our different finishes that we provide, we offer.
Just to give everybody an idea, I'm not sure, we've got 9 folks signed in right now. I'm not sure how many of them are using it currently or are familiar with it at all, but how long, Trey, did it take you to set this up from scratch?
So this took about, I would say, 4 hours from the time I began, starting in the plat stage, which you can see it's overlaid into here. And again, everything you're going to do in 2D, you transfer into 3D. So you're actually building these things at the same time. So it helps with the construction drawings and for presentations like we're showing here. But it took about 4 hours.
Just with a click of a button, you threw it to 3D up there.
Yeah,
okay.
2D to 3D mode. But the great thing about the program is that they provide an extensive amount of learning on YouTube for free that go into each stage. So you work in stages, as you see here, from project information down to page layout, construction markup, presentation mode, all kinds of different layered modes that you work in. And so Structure Studios does a great job of
Providing
teaching,
some training.
yeah, providing training, which I learned everything from their online training and their YouTube training.
So 4 hours is a long time, right? This knowing where this project is and all of the permitting involved. I know that this was not a cheap project, so
Right.
4 hours is a long time for, say, an average project. What could users do to make this less time consuming? Like, what could we drop
Yeah.
out, still have it realistic, but
Yeah.
not take
Yeah.
4 hours of design time?
Really, I mean, it could take as little as 10 or 15 minutes to show them, here's a pool, here's the layout. Now let's quickly go into different material selections from concrete to coping selections, pool colors. So really the average job, it could take as little as, 30 minutes right there with the homeowner at their home. So it really depends on, you don't really technically have to get into the detail of the home and really get as anal as I do sometimes with all of the lighting displays and everything. But, an average job could be a very quick turnaround with them on site and being able to interact with them on site as well.
Okay. Very cool. And we landed this job.
Yes.
Yeah, we got this job. So nice work. All right, so let's get into the next one. This next project is much more elaborate. And actually, this, if I'm correct, this next job earned Hardscape Hero of
the month for December. So
for December.
Yeah, so we're going to the dinner on October 11th in Richmond, Virginia, which will
This is, of course, is through
announce-
Eagle Bay.
Yes, Eagle
Yeah.
Bay is a hardscape manufacturer here in Virginia. So one of the ones that we use.
So this one, what we want to do, Trey, is I'd like for you to show them, how we set the home up. There was a really important design element that you keyed in on the back of the house. So how do we get the home to look exactly like it does on the property?
Right.
Using this software. And then how do we begin to set up a video tour? And how did you decide where to make the stops along the way on that video tour? So take it from the top.
Yeah, so when you get into the house, again, we build in layers. So really when we're looking at this from a 3D standpoint, and you can see the job, you can see the porch and the deck and everything that's currently there. So from a right from the beginning, in terms of a house, generally everything you do is you start in a 2D layer. So from the house, just generically, say the house is, let's see here. Say the house is a 21, 40, and then a lot of times this will help you. It'll bring it back home for you. So it's very interactive. But from the house layer, as you look at this, you can really get into details from the roof pitch, from the type of roof. And generally what I do is I then begin to build in 3D. So is this a 1-story house? Is it a 2-story house? Does it have a gable roof? Is it a hip? What is the pitch of the roof? And I can begin to do this immediately, real time. So you can quickly begin to build the house generally very quickly for a simple project.
Which of course is, it's a few minutes of time that would be worth it for them to be able to visualize how the pool the project design will integrate with the home as it currently looks.
Right. And so sometimes you have to build the house in a few different layers. So just for instance, this one to make this pitch here versus the pitch of the main house, you essentially frame that out twice to allow that to happen. So there's some little tricks that you can do to really make it home, but in most of the time it's going to be a very quick and easy thing to do. And a lot of times if you don't want to focus on the house, really that's not the main goal. The main goal is just to really help them feel connected to the project itself. So technically if I wanted to do a video like you were mentioning and I didn't really want to focus on a lot of the details of the house, I could just take the roof off and go into a video mode. And really this is the video mode that we're gonna show here. And I don't want to focus on the house. I don't want to focus on all the things. I really want to, control the angles of the project to allow it to focus on what I want it to focus on without trying to get bogged down into too much time on things that don't really pertain to the project. So it really just depends on what's all going on there. So
yeah. So for the sake of this, just highlight that one design element that was so critical to tying this into the home,
Hmm.
that entryway into the basement.
Yeah, so I can stop this here.
This is why setting the house up on this particular rendering was so important for Trey
Yes.
to do for these
Yeah,
homeowners.
so in this particular job, I think we had a great photo on our website at one time capturing this angle here as you came from the basement up into the actual pool area. So the main focus of this was to center the pool on that view, and I think we captured that really well in those photos that we produced. And so,
Hmm.
I mean, it looks just like that.
Yep.
And so,
All right. And so the idea was to give them the precise view as if they
exactly.
were walking up out of their basement to go hang
Right.
out at the pool for the day.
Right, and if you wanted to focus on, what's it going to be, from a kitchen window or
Oh,
something like that,
wow.
you could certainly do that too from the upstairs windows. Or, I mean, you can interact with this thing, but I try to focus on just the pool areas alone without getting into all
Mhm.
of the, we want to focus right on what's
Yeah.
important. So.
All right. So walk us through a couple important stops in the video tour and quickly how you set that up.
Yeah, so again, the main goal is to focus my views on areas that don't capture beyond the actual pool project itself. So I'll do that by putting a bunch of trees in areas that's now wood lined to really make it seem as real as I can, while also cycling through the different day to night scenes so they can get just kind of a nice intro recap of the lighting and how this could work in many different times of the day. And so the main goal is to really focus these on the actual pool project itself. As you can see, jumping into the water, and if you actually heard this video, you would hear the splash of the water and the underwater sounds and the night scenes and all. So I think it's just focusing on those areas and not getting too bogged down into a big broad view of the rest of this virtual world, if you will. So I try to
Mhm.
focus so that we can stay contained and make it as real as possible.
Okay. Let's talk through the homeowner's reaction as you are showing this one in particular.
Yeah, so this one we made a lot of changes and we did a lot of them on site together, actually from this kitchen window here. So what we were able to do is we could quickly begin to change materials around. And so as you go into this, you can really alter the different styles. So for instance, if we wanted to go into the material stage, this is when I really get to start changing things with homeowners, from the color finishes to, the simple angle of this patio here. Let's make it, 0. So we quickly change the actual layout and color
Wow.
scheme of the project. And so interacting with them face to face at the home, making these changes is, I think, critical to help them feel connected to the design as well and make sure they know what they're getting and know what their options are.
How difficult is it to make an entire material change there?
Quick and easy. So you would just go to, for instance, let's, a lot of our customers are liking our textured concrete. So I literally type in textured concrete. You could go into here, double click that, and you can see I put a star on it. So, now we've got some different textures here. We can quickly, change the color. It's not purple, never seen that before, but you can quickly change the colors and the hues and everything, on the fly very quickly.
And what about coping and those finish edge materials?
Yeah, so a lot of our customers, they don't know if they want the coping or not, and all of that would be controlled in the pool stage. So that's really what's important to a lot of us here. So when you get into the details of the pool itself, you can see here that we do have a coping. It's 1 feet. You can change the lip styles. I mean, you can do all kinds of things. So these are things you can quickly, from one click of a button. There is no longer coping, and you can see it's just that border of paver, which, it is a quick and easy just change that you
just
can
say
make.
1 feet.
1 foot, excuse me.
As you get carried away, guys. It's funny. It's funny. All right, so good. And then I also noticed you went so far as to put you picked up on the fact that they are, I assume, UVA alumni.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately, yeah.
University of Virginia, but you took time to incorporate the logo in a couple places. So they're
Yeah.
viewing this as clearly Trey did not plug and play this concept, this design. He personalized it for them,
Right.
and which meant that in the front end, you got to know them as individuals, not
Yeah.
a number, just not a random client. You knew who they were. You really wrapped your head around what they were going for in this project,
Yeah.
why they wanted to have
Yeah.
the pool in the first place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And in using a program like this, it's very easy to begin to really get to know them and really understand what their style is. They may not even know what their style is, which is kind of the case in this. And by being able to visually show them quickly, you can really decide, well, I really like that, and I don't really, I'd rather not do something like that. So.
mhm. Very good, very good. All right, so let's go to the next project, and let's check out. This one is the Backer residence.
Open recent. Backer webinar. Okay. Let's not save those changes.
So what's going to be tricky here is that because of the way our webinar platform works, we're having difficulty getting sound from his machine to play
Right.
through for you guys to hear. So what we're going to do is we will share on the Fiberglass Pool Builders Facebook group the video tour of this project right after the show, and you're going to be able to hear all of the sound and the audio that is put in here. You've got music incorporated.
Yeah, we can do music. You can upload your own custom music if you're a Quiet Riot fan, or whatever your style is, you can do that. But they also have just plug and play music sounds, and depending on where you're at and what you're trying to achieve. So yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and play this video tour real quick, Trey. I thought this one was not a small project, but
No.
in terms of space, it really wasn't that big.
Yeah, so let me go into here. I will go to, it's a very small backyard actually. We'll go to the presentation mode, and you can see I've already created this. So you can just click preview, and you can preview everything that you do before you finalize the video, and then you can create that. But what you can also do is create 3D or 360 virtual reality videos and photos that you can upload to your Facebook page and also onto your phone or tablet, and bring that homeowner into the space, and put that virtual reality headset on them, and have them look around the space to really see it see it finished. And
what that would allow them to do is stand in one spot and turn
Right.
their head side to side.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
Up and down and see what they were.
Right. As
Yeah.
long as you pinpoint where that location that you've saved that image in, you could take them to that exact spot and have them look around all the way around the image.
Now, Trey, go back for a second. Stop right there on that return, that little stream. This was certainly a first for us.
Yeah.
Talk us through this feature right here.
Yeah, so this feature is actually a custom water feature. It's all natural stone, real rock. There is other products out there that are synthetic. This is actually a really custom made product, and we actually were able to put a separate pump, main drain system, and then we actually put that line under this bridge that you can see here. So it looks as if it's a natural spring coming out into the pool, but it's obviously part of the pool system. But it's its own separate pump and an operating system there.
Look how realistic that looks. I mean, so the materials that are available for you to choose from to build this rendering out are unreal. I mean, that is incredibly realistic until the silhouettes come in.
Right. And again, that's bringing it home. They have a young grandchild there. You can see two small dogs. So again, trying to show everybody on scene, and I think this is actually the photo. Something like this is on I think the main page of our website now.
Yeah, we just changed that out a couple weeks ago.
But in terms of the volume of this, you can, in the visual or the yard accessories, you can determine how loud that sound is going to be. Do you want it to be a very faint sound? Do you want it to be very loud and powerful? Same with the music. You can really control how you want the presentation to sound, and I think that's pretty neat to try to make it as real as possible.
Yeah. Let's continue the playing it through, so we can see the rest of the tour. So you've gone through different times of day and night so far.
Right. So now we're at a night scene, and obviously the silhouettes are glowing pretty good there. But Yeah. So again, you don't have to do that. I try to kind of wrap all the times of day into one quick, 2 minutes or less video. I think is helpful just to show them every aspect of it. But obviously, when we're sitting together on site or virtually, we can do any time of day or make any changes that they'd like to make.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Well, this project is just absolutely turned out beautiful.
Yeah.
And is this what the final product actually looks like?
Yeah, it looks very close down to the herringbone patterns, down to the flagstone. I'm going crazy here. Yeah, it looks very similar to the way it looks here on the screen. So that's really
Cool.
the goal, is to
Yeah.
make it as real as possible.
Another thing that I noticed in the rendering for this particular project is all of the landscape lighting. You certainly had that in the previous one. You had it for the first one we showed. But this one just caught my eye in a different way. So let's talk about landscape lighting and what our capabilities are here. Your
Yeah.
process for incorporating that into an image or
Yeah.
a video tour.
Yeah, and I can do that really quickly for you. What I like to tell people a lot of times when it comes to outdoor lighting is it's really about the effect of the light, not the it's not always about the fixture itself. So what I do is a quick and easy thing that I produce a lot is really not actually showing a light fixture. It's actually called a point light in your yard accessories. So again, they break everything down into logical format. So you have a lighting icon. And so generally what I like to use is this
Talking
point.
about what you're
Sorry.
doing is using the search feature
Yes.
of on the top left of the screen,
Yes. The
which
search.
is probably easy for navigation.
You can do that,
Okay.
or once you begin to know what you like, you can tag that as a favorite,
Okay.
and then it'll be one-stop shop for all those things
Gotcha. Okay.
that you generally use. But you can see here, I can adjust this light. I can move it around. You can do all kinds of things with it, and generally that's what I like to do to make quick and easy things illuminate. But obviously there's also you can clearly go into your lights icon, and there's everything from ceiling fans to just all kinds of different features and different
Boy, look at that.
styles to choose from, depending on candles. As you can see, I mean, you can really begin to
Drops the shadow in there and everything.
yeah, it's
Wow.
it's great. So, but you can actually use fixtures themselves to create the light, or you can use like a point light and just illuminate that, and then begin to determine what style fit that they like.
So let's just walk through here, back us out in the view a little bit, and just let's point out how many different lighting features you included to this project.
Yeah, so the pool lights, those are something that's an actual light that drops in. It actually clicks on and locks into the pool itself, the pool shell. So it's a quick and easy way to do that. But you can see there, they have the color changing ones. You can alter that. But from a lighting standpoint, we put some lighting into obviously uplighting on the trees, lighting throughout the landscape. The fire itself illuminates by itself, and then getting some silhouette lighting, in the landscaping, uplighting on the trees. So really trying to make it, string lighting they have, as you can see. You can see actually floodlights into the trees. So yeah, you can really make it look as real if the homeowner actually has a light on their house, or a floodlight that you observed. You can throw that in there as well.
So we talk about a level of creativity here as well, and project design theory. When we do video production, video editing, and sound design there, they say that the best incorporated sounds are the ones you don't notice as a viewer, right? But if they weren't there, you would miss them immensely.
Absolutely.
Something would just, a void would be felt, right?
Absolutely.
And so you have taken this program and really pushed it to its full capabilities to do just that with the lighting.
Yeah,
itself.
and that's a quick and easy thing when you put a lighting display together and they're like, I just don't know. You can go into the hide and unhide icon and just hide the lights altogether. So
let's do a before and after.
Let's see.
Let's do that.
Let me try to find. It's in here somewhere. you know, staging light symbols,
And I'll be honest, it
sound
wasn't until
effects.
about the third time I watched this that I keyed in on all the lights.
Yeah, and I think it's something once you watch the video with the sound and everything, you'll cue in on it a little bit more. But trying to see here, don't find it yet. But there is a way that you can quickly take those lights out or take certain things
Mhm.
out. For instance, you know, landscaping, it's gone. You know, and look how much that's changed the project. So
Well,
yeah, so
you just went from plush
yeah.
summer Virginia to Arizona
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. So you can quickly show those different things, and it's very helpful for you when you're building this for your construction crew. So you don't
Mhm.
want to be bogged down with all the some of the things that don't really affect the construction, but it's more for presentation mode. You
Yeah.
can quickly adjust those uh, for your construction documents.
Another thing I've noticed before we at least attempt to show them where to incorporate sounds is you are actually go back up a little bit. Yeah, zoom up a little bit. Okay, so right here, these are oak trees.
Yeah,
Those are oak leaves, buddy. So you not only focus in on the landscaping that will be built around the project, but you
right.
keyed in on existing hardwoods
Yeah,
and trees that
yeah,
are on the property, evergreens, and put those exact species in this presentation.
absolutely.
And we have a shot almost just like that
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
of the finished project. And so, how many different zones, I guess, can you pull from in terms of shrubbery and existing
Yeah,
hardwoods and evergreens?
yeah, they have a wide selection. Literally, there's a plants and trees icon, and this is a little different with Pool Studio. So Pool Studio, this is VIP 3D. So Pool Studio doesn't offer as many, I think, landscape elements
Mm-hmm.
that VIP 3D does. So VIP 3D is essentially just a combination of all the great things about Vistera and all the great things about Pool Studio into one. So
Mm-hmm.
it may not be as important for you to have that wide plant selection, but
Mm-hmm.
there's an enormous amount of different things for all kinds of different zones, and they're also every month or every quarter. I think they're always coming out with new updates, so they're always updating
Mm-hmm.
new features and new products and all kinds of really awesome things. So it's not like once you get the program and
Stuck with it.
yeah, you're not stuck with it. It's a monthly subscription because they're always improving, which is awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through the menu where you would incorporate sound, and let's talk about the different sound options that are available and how you harness them for this particular project. Because that stream,
Yeah,
that natural rock bed coming back, or returning water back to the
yeah,
pool, is obviously going to have a soothing element,
right,
and was
right,
appealing to them not only for visual aesthetics but because of the
right,
ambient
right.
sound it was going to provide.
Yeah, yeah. So if you go into visual features under yard accessories, that's where a lot of the 3D stuff will come into play. You can, for instance, click a bubbler, if you will. Put that into the tanning ledge, and from there, if you look on the screen on the right, sound settings. So do I want that at 50%? Do I want it very, very loud? How high do I want that bubbler and the radius of it? So from a customizable standpoint, you can really begin to make that work in your advantage. But then there's also a just a sound subcategory with everything from different music bits or different outdoor sounds from an urban park to like a wooded meadow, or surrounding areas. Also down to empty, so you can, like I said, you can import your own song or theme into it, and even down to the details of what the pool pump fan sounds like. So I mean, it's
That's
really up
really
to you.
important.
Yeah,
That's really important because pool placement is key, but so is equipment placement, right?
yeah,
And what is I think a lot of folks tend to not even think about what the AC compressor is going to sound like, or the heat pump is
right,
going to sound like outside of their home. And so with this, you can actually place
yeah,
that very equipment uh, in various locations, and on the video
right,
tour, allow them to see exactly how much that sound is going to interfere with
right.
their backyard
Right. So
environment.
so as you can see on this one, I've clicked it. It generically puts it into there. But if that area is going to be louder, I can make that that bigger, or I can make it very small just where the equipment is. And so if I'm doing a video and I'm going to pass through that area, they're going to hear it. And then as they pass on throughout the project, it's going to go away.
How do you gauge how much volume you need to add to these things?
It really depends. I mean, if I'm doing like a music, something with music, I'm going to encapsulate the entire area that I'm going to be videoing. Where other areas, like for instance a splash or the sound of underwater, you're going to want to put clearly where that where you're going to be entering into the water, and then just contain it into the pool itself. So it really just depends on what kind of presentation you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. But I try to make it as real as possible, and depending on how long you want to spend and how quick and efficient you can get it, it really doesn't take a whole lot of time to, as you can see, we're quickly just plugging and playing here and adjusting things, real time. It's not a very hard thing to do. And again,
Gotcha.
You can have it loop through, or you can have it play once. Again, the volume is all here, just like on the water feature. You can adjust how loud or how quiet and how long you hear that.
Very nice. Very good. So let's see. What other sound elements did we incorporate with this? You had some ambient sound, just some I think you had some birds chirping.
Yeah,
you had some. Just walk us through the sound design for this particular project.
Yeah,
and we've got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, so generally, you pick a theme. A lot of times, if I'm doing a lot of different designs, I'll just randomly pick one that I like. But again, you can pick your own sounds or a song that you can even go to the extent of, what's your favorite song? I want to play that for you as we enter into your space, and you can do that. So as again, you can see, I would make the area very big and encapsulate that area. And so what I would do is I would put, in this particular one, I would put the birds in. So you would put like let's see here, there's a morning birds. You put that in there, but make that volume very low so you can kind of hear it, but it's not overpowering. And then you could put a nice song in, whether it's, you're feeling happy, or there's, country theme, all kinds of different things. And you can maybe make that a little bit louder. And then as you watch the video, as you pan through to this water feature, you actually hear that water feature. And then as you, move along from it, it then goes away. So,
okay.
So that's kind of, again, it can be custom to you. And if you're trying to talk to somebody as you've already presented it, it's going to keep playing that music. So that's an easy way to come in here to the hide and unhide icons and just cut the sound off while you're talking or making any changes.
Okay.
So that's a quick and easy thing to do as well.
Last question. How long do you, well, actually two questions.
Okay.
How long did it take you to learn the software to this level?
Well, I'm always learning. I'm always trying to get better, but it really doesn't take that long if you just take the time to watch the videos. I mean, the videos are extensive, so
How about to the point from start to being able to comfortably incorporate this into a sales presentation?
I think once you pass through the videos one time, you have a good understanding. You can begin to play with it, and then I would say maybe 3 weeks. Really messing with it. I mean, as you can see, there's just so much that you can learn and do. So a lot of times it's you're always figuring out new things, but it really doesn't take that long. And the videos are very helpful. You can either sign up for an actual class where they're doing it live, and you can begin to ask questions with the instructor online, or you can go ahead and just watch those videos on YouTube, which they have an awesome amount of education on those. And then obviously when the updates come out, they tell you about those updates and what the changes are. So they're always improving the program, and there's every tool available to you to learn it at your pace.
Yeah. And last thing I'll point out is, putting together something like this is going to create an incredible sales pitch. You can go ahead and stop sharing your screen, Trey.
Okay.
But Trey, you go so far sometimes as to use it to create an icebreaker with a homeowner. So you go in with a super dumpy, frumpy looking rendering, and then say, "Here's your pool project."
Yeah. And
then you wait for that jaw drop look on their face where they're clearly expecting more.
Mm-hmm.
And then you switch the screen to the fully maxed out rendering.
Yeah.
Spin that around. So it creates an icebreaker moment. It by doing that, you create a wow factor, a sincere, drastic change in emotion, which was a little more of an intense wow factor for them.
Right.
And then you also create, you use this software, go back to Google Chrome here. You also use this software to add features that are possible upsells
Absolutely.
for the
Yeah.
project. And so it may not be something that they're asking for out of the gate, something they're thinking, but upsells are always fantastic, and they are in any project design, any career,
Yeah.
automotive, it doesn't matter what it is. Sales, upsells are good, right? So you add those in by virtue of getting to know the client,
Right.
getting to know what would be appealing to them, and then you're providing options to them. So the incorporation of the UVA logo, would you like that incorporated into the basketball court, which
Right.
we didn't tune in on, but that second project we looked at actually has a basketball court incorporated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can add those things in and begin to get their minds thinking about what else could be,
Right.
which certainly could lead to upsells.
Exactly. Yeah. It's listening to what they're asking, and then provide good insight on those. And once we get down into the brass tacks, if it's a little bit too much, you can quickly make those changes and say, hey, look, it's still going to be a great project. Maybe you don't have to have that custom color on your gel coat. Maybe you don't need that waterline tile, or hey, look how great this would look if you added this particular feature. So at least making them feel comfortable, know that there are options, that it's going to look great no matter what, I think is key.
Looks like we have a question here on the chat pane. If you'd click on that, see who that is, Trey. That one's from earlier, I think, from Sydney.
Okay.
All right, good show. All right, guys. If you have any questions, can folks shoot you a quick email, Trey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trey@riverpoolsandspas.com or
right.
Christian@riverpoolsandspas.com. And we certainly be willing to help. We're going to get the recording of this up onto our webinar view screen or view page on our website within the next couple days. And the next session, October 2nd, 11 a.m. Mark your calendars now. How to install a fiberglass hot tub or spa. Just depends on where you are, what you call it, but how to install these add-on features to pool projects. Trey, thanks for your time, buddy.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. And again, we're also put in the email, the follow-up email to this, a link to Structure Studio's website and any training elements that we can find. We'll drop those links in the email for you as well.
Yeah, they do a great job on their website of providing the type of laptop you would need and all kinds of great information on there. So.
And at $170 a month, think how many jobs you could sell doing that. Right. Well worth the investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, we will see you October 2nd, 11 a.m. Again, we'll be going over how to install fiberglass hot tubs or spas as add-ons to your pool projects. Trey, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll see you guys.